Welcome to Madabo Motshabi channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe before you leave. Why it's your time to sparkle. There's no better time to sparkle and shine apart from the crowd than on your wedding day. After all, the day is all about you and the special one you're marrying. The event has been planned for months, the perfect invitations have been sent out to all of your friends and family, and the details have all been set in place. The only thing left to do is make sure that you're feeling healthy, whole and ready to sparkle on your big day. So many brides and grooms put so much time, thought and energy into planning details of the wedding that they forget about the importance of preparing themselves as well. Weeks are spent determining the right location, the color scheme, the flowers, the photography, the special music, the food and refreshments at the reception and the perfect song for the first dance. These details are all necessary, but nothing is more important than taking time to prepare yourself to sparkle and make it through the day with a smile. Take time throughout the planning process to be alone and do things that you enjoy. What energizes you and keeps you centered? Whether it's making time for exercise each day or signing up for a relaxing massage, make sure you keep yourself restful and excited. When your wedding day finally arrives, you want to be relaxed and feel great so that you can really sparkle and make the most of the day. Number one will really remember whether the decorations were mint or lime, but every guest will certainly recall whether the bride and groom looked happy and had a sparkle in their eye or not. As your big day approaches, don't forget to do things that are good for your body and mind. Prioritize simple things like getting enough sleep, eating healthy foods, drinking enough water and getting exercise. These 4 things will be keys to ensuring that you sparkle when you say I do. There's simply nothing more important than keeping tabs on your health. It can also be helpful to get into the fresh air, to read a great book or to keep a journal of your thoughts as the wedding approaches. Small things that keep your mind at peace are important for any bride or groom that wants to really sparkle as they begin their new life together. So take time now to think about what your body and mind needs in the days and weeks ahead. There's no doubt that you'll be happy and full of sparkle if you've taken the time to prepare yourself well. Why having a Las Vegas wedding? Las Vegas is a very popular place for couples to get married, especially couples in America. If the couple is getting grief about being together or getting married, then they usually plan to elope to Las Vegas and have a wedding there. They're quick weddings and all you need is 2 people there to witness the wedding. You don't need to be dressed up or anything, but you can have a glamorous wedding at one of the top hotels in Las Vegas if you've a lot of money behind you. The smaller weddings are usually performed at what's like a drive-through wedding service. Las Vegas is casino central in America. They've the large flashing lights, the nude ladies dancing and the lights that take your breath away. Las Vegas is a marriage hotspot. A Las Vegas wedding is somewhat controversial. Some people call it cheesy, others call it class. You can get anything in America: fast food, fast drinks, and now fast wedding parlors are all over Las Vegas where you can quickly pop in and a minister or a court official will make your marriage legal, and that's that for a small fee, of course. Then there is the great weddings that take place in hotels like the Plaza. These weddings cost a fortune and an arm and a leg to buy, and they're very, very worth it. A Las Vegas wedding with a white stunning gown, hundreds of flowers and the man or woman of your dreams has got to be one of the biggest wedding fantasies. You then spend a night in the honeymoon suite together and enjoy the rest of your honeymoon by visiting the sights and sounds of Las Vegas. Can you just imagine standing in front of hundreds of guests wearing a long elegant white dress, holding the most stunning bouquet of flowers you've ever seen, then walking towards the man of dreams down a plush red carpet and all your guests staring at you, the lights from the chandelier hitting of your diamond earrings and necklace? Welcome to Las Vegas. Why saves money doing your own wedding flowers? A wedding takes an enormous amount of time and money. From the hall to the dress, the flowers, the cake, invitations, food, etc. It's wise to save where you can. You may not want to cut corners with your dress, but you can save a lot of money doing your own flowers. A florist needs to make money, and in order for them to this, they need to spike up cost tremendously. What you're paying for is not only the flowers, but you're paying for the cost of the flowers, vases and containers which they buy wholesale and mark up 50% to 75%, the salaries of the people making the arrangements, paying for the driver and gas and other incidentals. This is their business and they need to do this in order to be successful. But if you're somewhat artistic and want to save some money, you can do your own flowers. Here are some basic things you need to do. 1. Look through bridal magazines or online to get an idea of what kind of arrangements you're interested in. Having pictures of what you like can help you decide the colors and styles. Investing in a flower arranging book can be of enormous value to you as it gives you the complete how-to and what tools you need and lots of pictures. 2. Without having experience in floral design, simple may be a better choice, but that doesn't mean it's less effective. Something like a tall vase with white gladiolas in them placed on each table looks incredible and is about the easiest arrangement you can put together. This also works very well as altarpieces. If you want a low arrangement, you can do something like a low vase with just roses of your color choice and sprinkle rose petals around it on each table. If roses are too expensive, you can do the same with cheaper flowers such as carnations, daisies, Gerber daisies, or mums. Whatever you like that fits your budget. 3. Do the table arrangements and altarpieces before tackling the bridal and bridesmaid bouquets. These also typically take the most time to do. There are 2 ways you can go. You can go to a craft store and buy ready-made floral foam with a handle and lace skirt that you'll soak with water to insert your flowers into, or you put freshly cut stems together and bind them with floral tape and then ribbon. 4. A simple but beautiful bouquet can be made by taking roses that have been cleaned of most of their leaves and thorns. In one hand hold the first few roses and keep adding a rose one at a time until you've the desired amount of roses. Make sure they're not all flat at the top. You want your bouquet to be rounded. You do this by carefully taking the outer roses and pulling them down gently all around until you've the desired effect. The center of your roses will be the highest roses while the rest of the roses will gently slope downward. 5. When you've decided what you want, then gather up your bridesmaids or whomever you think could best help you, and well before the wedding, do a test run and make one of each arrangement you'd like to do. This will give you an idea of how it's going to look and how long it takes to do each, and take a close-up picture of each arrangement once you're satisfied. Doing a run-through also lets you determine the cost. Just multiply by the number of arrangements you need to do. If you're happy about your work and you really want to know what your savings will be, then take your pictures to a flower shop and get them to give an estimate for making the same arrangements. You'll know what you paid. Now compare that to the florist's quote. Doing your own flowers will take more of your time, but if you've a good support system helping you, which can be a really fun time, you can take pride in your accomplishments and save a lot of money. Why ready for a Las Vegas wedding? Known as the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas is not only famous for its tourist attractions and casinos but also for its infamous Las Vegas weddings. Las Vegas is by far the most popular wedding destination spot in the United States and perhaps the world. Over 100,000 Las Vegas weddings are held every year, and it's a perfect place for couples who want to get married in a quick and unique way. Brides and grooms can let their imaginations soar and their wedding dreams come true in an unlimited amount of spectacular themed Las Vegas weddings, complete with theatrical lighting and smoke effects, sets and costumed characters. Everything from Elvis performing the ceremony and singing his hit songs to an exotic Egyptian wedding with King Tut's minister, or even a gangster-themed wedding with The Godfather, and everything in between. Destination weddings are also big business in Las Vegas, with many wedding chapels offering packages for them. Popular wedding destinations include scenic Red Rock Canyon, Mount Charleston, and the Valley of Fire State Park. More unusual destinations consist of weddings at the famous Las Vegas sign, on a roller coaster atop the Stratosphere Tower, and at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. A lot of couples prefer to have a Las Vegas wedding because of the following advantages. It's fun. Las Vegas weddings offer couples a fun and amusing way to get married that you probably can't find anywhere else on Earth. It's affordable in most cases. Las Vegas weddings cost less than traditional wedding ceremonies. It can be held on extremely short notice. Most chapels in Las Vegas allow couples to book their wedding right away, while others even accommodate walk-ins. Its convenient hotels in Las Vegas usually have their own wedding chapels with a wedding coordinator that takes charge of all the preparations, from the flowers and music to the souvenirs, and can get in touch with the couple on the phone or even online. It allows couples to start their honeymoon early. After the wedding, there is no need for couples to board a plane and head out of town. Las Vegas is a great honeymoon destination in itself. So whether it's something traditional, exotic, or unique that you seek for your wedding, Las Vegas can deliver it. When planning your Las Vegas wedding, carefully research all your options. You may be surprised by what you find. One thing is for certain, in Las Vegas you can definitely plan a wedding that you and all of your guests will be talking about for years to come. Why replace your wedding DJ with an iPod? Whether it's true or not, most everyone agrees that wedding DJs are expensive. A popular tip circulating the net is to replace your wedding DJ with an iPod and DJ your reception yourself. While this may sound like a great idea, there are some things to consider. Just as with any do-it-yourself project, you must be aware of all facets before you start. The first most important job for a good DJ is to play music that the crowd enjoys. A simple shuffle has no way of knowing who is dancing to what. A person does need to run things, but not just any person will do. Putting your 12-year-old nephew won't do you any good. The person in charge of the music needs a large amount of music knowledge. A good DJ should have this knowledge. A good DJ should be able to identify a song based on a few bars hummed out of tune or a snippet of lyrics that are slightly incorrect. Your DJ must not have a fear of speaking in front of a crowd, and this is not as easy as it sounds. One simply has to think of all the best men who have hemmed and hawed their way through a wedding toast with the microphone held at waist level. Also, does she know how to auction off a garter or any of the other traditional reception activities? If not, will the bride and groom want to do these things while they should be enjoying their guests? Oh, and just like you would give your wedding singer or officiant a tip for performing your ceremony, don't forget a gratuity for your impromptu DJ. Unless you're a music collector, chances are you don't have a music library with waltzes, polkas, old country, new country, oldies, classic rock, new rock, soft rock, hard rock, hip-hop dance, etc. And unless you want to subject your guests to your musical tastes, you should probably buy a selection of these songs. If you're not up on popular waltzes and polkas or don't know which songs are currently topping the country top 40, search the web. $25 Singapore dollars should buy you enough music on iTunes to cover enough various musical tastes that most guests will enjoy themselves. Another task for a good wedding DJ is one who is covered by insurance. Sure, your homeowner's policy might cover it, but I'd hate to see your premiums next year if an accident does occur. Don't think accidents will happen to you. Are you serving alcohol at your reception? If you're telling yourself, all the drunk people I know never act like fools, stop and think about that again. Besides, many venues require proof of insurance because they don't want to see their premiums raised because your grandma tripped on a speaker cable and broke her hip. Searching the web for wedding event insurance will yield a whole crop of insurers who will give you a $1 million policy for around $200. Equipment is of course another important factor a good DJ brings to your reception. Do you know where to get speakers? Or mics? Or mixer? Larger cities will have rental companies that can provide these things. You can even find many such companies by searching the web for DJ equipment rental. Most wedding-sized systems rent for anywhere from $250 to $500 Singapore dollars per day. In most cases you must provide a truck or van to transport the equipment. Now, do you know how to set these things up? If not, will the rental company give you a tutorial? Some rental companies will give you a tutorial when you pick the equipment up, but make sure to take notes because if you've to call them later, they will likely charge you for a service call. Some equipment rental companies will deliver setup and test their equipment as well as pick up later, but this is extra. That being said, if you know your group will interact without being prompted or just don't care if they interact or not, and if you've got a person with an encyclopedic knowledge of music that will run your iPod instead of enjoying your reception, and you've adequate insurance to cover any accidents that occur due to your iPod setup, and you've a large enough music library to make sure everyone gets to hear the music they want, and you're able to get your hands on adequate dance lights and speakers and will be saving money by spending $550 to $700, then by all means use an iPod. You honestly have no need for a DJ. If planning and organizing all this sounds like just one more hassle, you'd probably do better to hire a professional so that you can enjoy your reception and spend your first day as husband and wife doing something besides returning rental equipment. For a few dollars more, you'll get professional equipment, professional knowledge from someone who has planned and performed at hundreds of weddings, peace of mind that any glitches will be resolved quickly, no hassles about tearing down equipment when the reception is over, and no worries about getting it back before you owe another day's worth of rental fees. Las Vegas weddings, the Shalimar Wedding Chapel. The Shalimar Wedding Chapel is a Las Vegas chapel located inside the Howard Johnson Hotel, right on the Las Vegas Strip. The Shalimar is a cute chapel featuring wooden pews and floral arrangements. The chapel offers 3 wedding packages to choose from. The most inexpensive package costs only $129, making it a real bargain for anybody looking for a cheap, quickie Las Vegas wedding. The package includes a chapel wedding, flowers for the bride, a boutonniere for the groom, 12 photos and a VHS video of your wedding ceremony. A witness, minister and limousine are also provided, although the minister's donation and limo driver's tip is not included in the price of the package. The chapel also offers an Elvis package which features Eddie Powers, a world-famous Elvis impersonator who has been featured on television shows and in movies such as Fools Rush In. If you've seen this movie, Eddie is the Elvis impersonator that gives away Salma Hayek's character when she marries Matthew Perry. If you choose the Elvis package, Elvis sing 3 songs and give the bride away. If you're renewing your vows, he can also perform it as the wedding ceremony. Helicopter wedding packages are also offered by the Shalimar Wedding Chapel. The package, which goes for around $1,000, includes a wedding in a helicopter as it flies over the famous Las Vegas Strip. Photographs, a video, the minister and limo service are also provided with this package. The Shalimar Wedding Chapel also offers a lovely gazebo located outside by their pool. The gazebo, which has a small brook by it, is available for wedding photos. If you're thinking about a Las Vegas wedding, this chapel offers some simple and reasonably priced wedding packages that are worth taking a closer look at. Las Vegas weddings at the Flamingo. The Flamingo Hotel and Casino, which is located in the heart of the famous Las Vegas Strip, provides a beautiful garden area that sets the mood for the many wedding venues that are offered there. Located on a hill in the garden area is the Garden Chapel, an elegant indoor wedding chapel. This is a switch from the chapels that most other hotels offer, since it's located on the grounds instead of within the hotel. If you prefer an outdoor location over a chapel, the Flamingo has plenty to choose from. You can say your nuptials in the Gazebo Chapel, which is an ivy-covered gazebo in a garden setting. Want something more dramatic? The Crescendo Pool venue located in the pool area offers a stunning atmosphere that includes the bride making her grand entrance from underneath a waterfall. The ceremony then takes place with a large waterfall acting as a romantic backdrop. This location is only available during fall and winter months. The West Lawn, which is another outdoor garden site, provides an old-fashioned gazebo located in the midst of a large grassy area. The Garden Trellis, a small garden locale with rose-covered trellis, and the Paradise Falls, a small waterfall location, are available for more intimate affairs. Traditional packages with ceremony site, minister, flowers, photos, and video are offered for these locations. Some packages include room or suite accommodations. Another great thing about the packages is that they provide either a pianist or violinist for the ceremony, so you and your guests enjoy the experience of live music rather than recorded. The Flamingo can also organize a reception for you. They can help you arrange everything from a simple or elaborate banquet to a gathering in one of their restaurants. If you prefer something private, they can even help you put together a party in your suite. So if you're looking to marry in Las Vegas and would like a romantic and breathtaking locale for your wedding, you may want to give the wedding sites offered by the Flamingo a closer look. Las Vegas weddings at Lake. If you are planning a wedding in Las Vegas, you may want to consider getting married at Lake Mead. There are several options to choose from if you would like to get married at this famous man-made lake. Lake Mead Cruises offers wedding packages that take place aboard their Mississippi-style paddlewheel boats. The Desert Princess is the larger of the 2 boats they have available. It features 2 enclosed decks and an open-air deck. This boat can accommodate groups of up to 250. The Desert Princess 2 is available for groups of 75 or less. Ceremonies can be performed on the top deck of the boat, with the beauty of Lake Mead creating the perfect setting for your wedding. Packages include a wedding cake, champagne toast, and up to 3 hours of cruise time on the lake. You can also purchase additional time if you want your reception to last longer. Some packages even include keepsake boarding photos, which would make great wedding favors for your guests. Hors d'oeuvre or sit-down dinner receptions can be arranged, and several bar packages are offered. Their menu offers you the choice of salmon, chicken, prime rib or pasta entrees which are accompanied with salad, bread and side dishes such as rice pilaf and vegetables. Lake Mead Cruises can help you arrange entertainment for your wedding. They also provide a list of vendors for the services that don't come with their packages such as the minister, florist and photographer. Package prices are more expensive on Fridays and Saturdays. Another option they offer rather than chartering the whole boat for your wedding and reception is to have the ceremony on the top deck prior to one of their scheduled cruises leaving. You can then pay the regular per person rate for you and your guests to join the cruise after the ceremony if you'd like. Champagne brunch, midday early dinner and dance cruises are all offered. Rates for this run about $20–$60 a person depending on the cruise and group discounts that are offered. If you don't want to get married on a boat, you can still enjoy the scenery of Lake Mead by getting married in a park in Boulder City that overlooks the lake. TheWeddingCompany.com is a Boulder City, Nevada-based company that provides this wedding package. The package also comes with a bouquet and boutonniere, photography, transportation, music, wedding cake and a minister to perform a civil, religious or renewal ceremony. Lake Mead is a fantastic place to have a wedding. It really is an oasis in the desert and is quite impressive when you consider that just decades ago this enormous lake was nothing but desert. Las Vegas weddings at the Paris Hotel. The Paris Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas is located on the exciting Las Vegas Strip and comes complete with its own replica of the Eiffel Tower. This hotel presents many wonderful options for couples that wish to wed in Vegas. First, they offer two beautiful and elegant wedding chapels. The larger chapel is named Chapel du Paradis, which translates to Chapel of the Paradise in English. This chapel is designed to model a cathedral complete with columns, chandelier and a ceiling painted to resemble a sky with cherubs. It's available for groups up to 90. The smaller of the chapels, Chapel du Jardin or Chapel of the Garden, seats up to 30 and features garden murals on its walls. Chapel weddings are definitely not your only alternative if you wish to wed at the Paris Hotel. How about saying I do on the 50-story Eiffel Tower out front? Packages are available that allow couples to say their vows while on the observation deck of the tower, which offers stunning views of the Strip. This doesn't come cheap though. A morning wedding is offered for anywhere from $16,000 to a few $1,000s. And if you want to pay for the privilege of having your wedding there at night with all the lights of the famous Strip as you backdrop, expect to spend $1,000. If you're planning to have a lot of guests, this won't be the location for you. The observation deck can only accommodate groups of 12. Other ceremony locations that are offered by the Paris Hotel include weddings by their rooftop pool and in a 26th-floor penthouse at their sister property, Bally's Las Vegas. The packages that are offered by the hotel range from the traditional to more deluxe, with some packages including suites, meals, show tickets and spa services. Other services that are offered include live musicians and web broadcasting of the ceremony. Receptions can also be arranged at the Paris Hotel. For an informal gathering, they've a lounge on the 31st floor that offers Strip views. Their many restaurants are also a good option for a reception. The catering department can also help arrange something more formal, and for something really private, the Bally's penthouse can be rented for receptions as well. So if you're seeking something unique or elegant for your Las Vegas wedding, you will certainly want to give the Paris Hotel and Casino some serious consideration. Las Vegas wedding choices for the adventurous. There are many choices available if you want to add a little or a lot of excitement to your Las Vegas wedding. This glamorous city offers many opportunities to literally get your Vegas wedding moving. How about getting married in a hot air balloon as it soars above the earth? Several Las Vegas wedding chapels offer this opportunity. Looking for more of an adrenaline rush than that? How about taking the plunge and then taking the plunge again? At Viva Las Vegas Wedding Chapel, they offer a package where the happy couple gets hitched and then is whisked away to a skydiving adventure. They'll even videotape you taking the plunge both times. If this is a little too adventurous for you but you still want something different, you may want to consider one of the many limousine wedding packages available. That's right, you can say I do in the back of a limo as it cruises the famous Las Vegas Strip. Not only that, but you've your choice of limos. A Hummer limo is available at the Chapels of Love, and the Little White Chapel offers an excursion limo. If you prefer a traditional limo, the Loveland Chapel offers one. Another option for adding an extra thrill to your big day is to consider a wedding on the roller coaster at the top of the Stratosphere Tower, which is located about 1,100 feet above the ground. If you want to get to a higher elevation than that, opt for a helicopter wedding. Many locations offer them, and you've your choice of destinations. You can either say I do while flying over the Las Vegas Strip or the Grand Canyon. If you want something more relaxing, try a gondola wedding at the Venetian Hotel. You can say I do as you and your beloved float down a canal in a romantic, Venice-themed setting. Drive-through weddings are also readily available. The Little White Wedding Chapel offers a drive-through tunnel and can provide bike or limousine rentals if you don't want to use your own car. At a special memory wedding chapel, they have a drive-up window and offer the option of having Elvis pick up the happy couple in his pink Cadillac. The Chapels of Love offers a drive-through window with a limousine, sports car and classic car available. They can also serve up Elvis if you wish. So if you're looking to add a bit of exhilaration to your special day, Las Vegas is a good place to get married. The opportunities to add some excitement to your wedding are endless. A dream wedding in Italy. Dream wedding location is very hard to find and also get. It's such an unbelievable cause. All we have one dream about our wedding location, and 90% of us would not find such dream wedding destination. But tips for getting your imagined villas or palace for your wedding or reception may help those 90% people. All of we search for romantic, beautiful wedding villas or destination in Italy to get married. Italy is known as home of Europe. Charm of Italy cannot be described in words. Italy is full of natural beauties, gorgeous villas, palaces and beautiful landscapes where any occasions can become mind-blowing. Natural beauties and scenes add some perfume into wedding or reception atmosphere and make occasions more romantic. Arrange your wedding in Italy will be exactly as you've always wished it, more than all your expectations, and moreover with the professional touch of expert wedding planner who will guide you in the organization and choice of the catering service, of the menu, of the flowers, of the bouquet, of music, of the gifts for your guests, of the invitation cards, and whatever will make your wedding a special day. Specialize in Wedding Planner will be personally attending the ceremony and the wedding reception in Italy for assuring you a perfect happy day. All wedding planners have their expert team who decorate your wedding place uniquely. According to your choice, they decorate your wedding location with flowers, candles, marquee, and other special requests from your side will be fulfilled. They can also arrange flowers for decoration of your choice. Romantic Vendella roses, flimsy gypsophila, precious orchids, lisianthus, orange blossoms, or plenty of colorful tulips. We are able to find all your favorite flowers, and an experienced florist staff will study and build according to your wishes. Keep some tips while selecting wedding or reception destination in Italy. 1. While selecting palace, villas, resort for wedding, keep your budget in mind. 2. Location should be located at most beautiful location with romantic atmosphere. 3. Prepare list of amenities which are your basic needs, and after completing it, tally ones with list and amenities. 4. Read and understand all rules and regulations of wedding planners and also of location renters. 5. Don't forget to count budget for decoration. It may be possible that your budget of decoration went out of limit than budget of venue. 6. Personally involved with all arrangement of wedding or reception so that you can give comfort and ease to your friends and relatives. 7. Always plan and book in much advance so that at the end you don't have to face any hustle and bustle. 8. Keep in mind that your wedding should not give you stress. Wedding is the occasion when all of you can enjoy each and every ceremony and beautiful unforgettable moments. 9. In any emergency, don't get confused. Tackle situation with cool mind. 10. If you're stressed, your guests cannot enjoy, so be happy and keep all happy. Well-planned wedding or reception can be memorable for you and for your friends and family. These are the occasions in our life we only plan once, and therefore we all wish it executes perfectly and without any trouble. So advanced planning will be helpful to you to enjoy your wedding. Why are you wondering about bridesmaid gifts? Any wedding day will be full of memories, especially for the bride and groom. They of course are the key players whether it's a formal or informal wedding. With a formal wedding, the months of planning may build up a high level of anticipation in not just the bride and groom but also others who will also play key roles on the big day. To bridesmaids in particular, the lead up to the wedding day may be an exciting time. The bride and groom will undoubtedly want to commemorate the day for them with bridesmaids' gifts. For sure, bridesmaids will appreciate at least a token gift to help them remember the day. As with any gift, what you choose as a bridesmaid gift will depend on budget and age. If anything, older bridesmaids are easier to choose for, as personalized silver or crystal, for example, and other more adult products are more likely to be appreciated. Younger bridesmaids, though, may turn out to be easier than you thought, whatever your budget. It's a matter of thinking about their tastes and interests and finding something appropriate. While it is traditional to give all bridesmaids the same gift, that does not necessarily have to be the case. After all, they have probably been forced into a uniform dress for the occasion, and if you've several or many bridesmaids, then no doubt one or more were not too happy with the color or design, even if they're too polite to tell the bride. Choosing the bridesmaid's gift may be a good time to redress the balance and do something individual, a unique bridesmaid gift for each bridesmaid, unless, that is, you know the bridesmaids well enough to know that all will be happy with the same thing. At least by having the same gift, there's no danger of one bridesmaid being jealous of the other. How then can you make each bridesmaid gift unique without having to go out seeking an appropriate gift, the like of which you and your bridesmaids have never seen before? There are a couple of ways to add an individual and personal touch. Engravable gifts. Many items, including popular bridesmaid gift items such as jewelry, candles and candle holders, goblets, can either be engraved, embossed, or have a medallion attached that can be engraved. Engraving gives you the opportunity to add an individual touch for each bridesmaid, thus acknowledging that each has played their own important part. Bridesmaids of any age will appreciate something engraved with their name and those of the bride and groom, plus of and your personal message. If you've a wide variety of ages amongst your bridesmaids, then why not give each a different gift, appropriate for their age but also engraved with their personal message. If you've chosen jewelry, then you've a gift theme that can be applied to all ages and be engraved at the same. Even young girls usually like jewelry, so you could be making your bridesmaids very happy, commemorating the occasion nicely and making each gift choice unique. Gift baskets. Like jewelry, gift baskets can be made suitable for all ages of bridesmaid. If you choose an attractive and unusual basket, then even if the contents are consumable such as chocolates, the girl will have the basket left as a memento of the wedding and her role as a bridesmaid. With gift baskets, you can choose appropriate contents for each of your bridesmaids, whether they're 2 years old or 18, and you can even include an engraved gift inside to personalize it for her even more. So baskets do really give a lot of scope for individuality and addressing the age problem. There are a good selection of customized gift baskets online for you to choose from. Planning the wedding will be a big task that will preoccupy you if you are a bride or groom. But don't forget to give a bit of thought to those bridesmaids for their part in your big day. They're sure to appreciate it. Why are you searching for a bridesmaid chic dress? Planning a wedding can be one of the most exciting, happy, and stressful times of the bride's life. It's a time filled with high emotions, loss of sanity, and gleeful delight as she plans the most important party of her life. Part of the planning involves choosing bridesmaids and then, of course, the bridesmaid dresses. Just like wedding gowns, the bridesmaid dresses can range in price from a few $100s to the $1,000s. If you're a bride on a budget, your bridesmaids may be as well, which is why it's important to find cheap bridesmaid dresses. Once you've decided on your color palette for the wedding, you should have a good idea of what color your bridesmaids will be wearing. At that point, it's time to choose the bridesmaid dresses. Some women, when they think of a bridesmaid dress, simply cringe. However, with today's new styles with charming ruffled trims, floral embellishments, flattering necklines, varied hemlines, and scope of fabric, there is no need to worry. With all sorts of fashionable upgrades for bridesmaid dresses, you may be worried about an upgrade in price as well. Many fashion designers release bridesmaid lines that are completely affordable for any bridesmaid, no matter what her financial status is. Some of the higher level and couture designers such also offer a ready-to-wear line, so that finding a cheap bridesmaid dress is even easier than expected. Many brides and their maids worry when looking for cheap bridesmaid dresses that inexpensive means poor quality, which is hardly the case. With so much competition out there, many design houses now are offering high quality and fashionable bridesmaid dresses at competitive prices. One way to find cheap bridesmaid dresses is to shop around. There are many different wedding-related websites and resources online that help brides and their maids find the perfect dress for the occasion. In fact, many of these resources offer discount codes, special offers, and tips on finding affordable bridal fashions. Also, many bridal salons will offer a discount when buying several dresses at a time, perfect for cheaper bridesmaid dresses. When shopping around for bridesmaid dresses, one of the most popular tips is to check the bridal salons for bridesmaid dresses from the previous season. Many dresses from previous seasons are still just as fashionable but are sold at discounted rates. Always be sure to check the sales sections of any bridal fashion websites and salons when on the prowl for cheap bridesmaid dresses. You may just find the perfect one. Ask the right questions before you book your wedding reception. Think saying "I do" is going to be the most emotional moment in your wedding. Probably so, but putting down a deposit on your wedding venue could be a close runner-up. Reception costs consume almost half the budget for the wedding, which these days means you can expect to lay out almost $13,000 including food. And the venue you select can not only limit your choice of caterers or bakers, it's sure to affect how much you spend to cover up its weak spots or accent its highlights. Most stressful of all, the popular venues book far in advance, forcing brides to make the big decision almost as soon as they set the date. For that reason, the savvy venue hunter wants to know what questions to ask before she walks in the door, much less signs the contract. Here are a few ideas. Do you have a preset list of caterers I can use, or can I choose my own? Some venues, high-end ones with their own catering staff, or small-town ones with little competition, require you to use the in-house caterers or choose from a small list of approved vendors. It can be difficult to get taste tests or otherwise put this type of vendor through its paces. If you're stuck with such a list, search high and low for brides who have been there, done that, and can give you their honest opinions. Any restrictions on decorations? Many venues have them, but rules vary widely from place to place. Common restrictions include no open flame or no flame whatsoever, no tape or tacks on the walls, or no confetti. When linens are provided, some halls will prohibit the use of pins. Ask if the hall can provide any decorations themselves, especially around holidays. Useful centerpiece items such as hurricane lamps or Eiffel vases are not uncommon. Can we bring our own liquor? Is there a corkage fee, and do we need a license? If the liquor's to flow freely at your wedding, you'll save an immense amount of moolah by bringing your own. But some venues prohibit this and require you to buy from them. Even worse is the venue that says yes to bringing your own alcohol but charges you a mandatory corkage fee to serve it, which typically starts at an unbelievable $10 per bottle or more. You'll want to be crystal clear on the fine print regarding alcohol before you commit to a venue. As for licensing, many states consider wedding receptions to be an unlicensed social function, meaning you don't need one as long as you are not charging any for the alcohol. But be sure to check your local regulations before moving ahead and ask your service venue if they know of any licensing requirements. Is there a cake cutting fee? Some venues even limit your choice of bakers, but most don't. A more common, sneakier tactic is to charge you a cake cutting fee, which, like corkage fees, can really add up, often at $1 per slice. DIY detective work. These, of course, are only a few of the questions you'll want to ask a prospective venue manager. A few more tips while you are checking out the place: bring a tape measure. Get the dimensions of the room, the tables, and the distance between any features that might impact your decor, like windows. How many outlets are there and where are they located? What kind of climate control is available to you? Check the kitchen. Does it look clean, roomy, and suitable for your catering staff to work from? Check the hall itself. Where will you put the band, the cake table, the coffee service? Are there coat racks for your guests? Is a sound system available? Check out the parking. Is it ample? Is it paved, or can it get muddy in the case of rain? Is there handicap access? One final thing to get clear before you autograph the contract is your venue's cancellation policy. But hopefully, with these helpful tips, you'll have done enough homework to rest easy in your choice and not worry about having to cancel. Now that you've signed, take some time to sit back and relax before you tackle the next task in that thick wedding planner. A titanium and tungsten wedding rings for life. When faced with the once-a-lifetime decision of choosing a wedding band ring, everyone should do their own research in order to make sure they get the piece that can symbolize the eternality of marriage. For those who are seriously considering of buying the modern metals titanium or tungsten as wedding rings, here are some thoughts that are worth considering. Will they be scratched? Although titanium wedding bands are very strong and durable, the surface of the rings can actually be scratched. It takes another extremely hard object such as diamond to cut into the metal, however it doesn't get damaged during normal daily use. For titanium rings with gold, silver or platinum inlay, the inlay part of the ring is as vulnerable as a ring that's made of the precious metal itself. In the case of minor or blemish, a titanium ring can be repolished or refinished to restore the original appearance. On the other hand, tungsten rings are totally resistant to abrasions. Since tungsten carbide, the most common grade of tungsten alloy offered in the market, is extremely hard, it will never get scratched. Will they be bent out of shape? Both titanium and tungsten have extremely high ductile strength. However, under extremely circumstances, titanium rings could bend out of round, but a tungsten ring could not. If a high pressure is applied on a titanium ring, which could happen when being hit by a car door, the ring would bend when the force is strong enough. On the other hand, a tungsten ring stands a better chance of remaining intact because tungsten in general is harder than titanium. However, once the force goes beyond the threshold, the tungsten ring will be fractured into several pieces instead of bend out of round. This characteristic, which we refer to as being brittle, is similar to that of diamonds, whereas it is extremely hard but not ductile at all. Will the color turn? Neither of the metals will turn color. Titanium and tungsten alloy are biological inert and don't turn color with normal usage, such as being exposed to the sun, in contact with seawater, or cosmetic products. Can they be resized? The possibility of getting resized might be important since we gain or lose weight in the future. Due to the extraordinary high melting points of titanium and tungsten alloys, they can't be cut and welded like traditional precious metals. Hence, resizing is more difficult if not possible. Titanium wedding rings can be compressed or stretched up to one size if there are no stones or inlay on the rings with the help of special equipment. However, tungsten carbide wedding rings can't be resized at all. Therefore, one must measure the ring size carefully, possibility averaging the finger sizes at different times of the day in order to avoid any sizing problem after the titanium or tungsten wedding band rings. Are we a generation of do-it-yourselfers DIY? Tired or fed up of paying contractors for doing jobs you can do yourself? At some time, most of us will feel like that. Guess what? You really don't have to anymore. We seem to have a never-ending access to all the information we need to do these jobs ourselves. Many hardware stores are now giving free instructional classes on the weekends. There are also all those instructional television shows plus countless CD sets that make doing it yourself seem really easy. Not only do we get to save money, in most cases a lot of money, but we also get to take great pride in what we have done. Here are some suggestions and statistics about doing it yourself. There has been a do-it-yourself boom in recent years. Statistics show that the age group that relies most on do-it-yourself activities are people between the ages of 30 and mid-40s. They make up 41% of home improvement spending. DIY is now starting to attract more women. About 1/5 of home buyers in this past year were unmarried women, so it makes sense that women are getting more involved. There is a great website, http://www.bjane.com, dedicated to incorporating women to the do-it-yourself world. Statistics also show that an average household invests just over $2,000 a year on home improvements. When starting a new home improvement project, remember to start off on a small scale and always be prepared. You should estimate how long the project will take, double it, and then add 2 days since you're doing it yourself. Buy extra parts just in case you underestimated. You can always return the unused items after you are done. You probably should learn how to lay down tile before you replace your carpet with hardwood floor. Or try replacing a faucet before working on your plumbing. Just for the record, replacing a faucet by yourself can save you up to $400. If you are still leaning towards having the work done by a contractor and want to save money, ask the contractor if there's work you can do on your own, like the demolition or the cleanup. You could always start something, then get the contractor to finish it. The one thing you should never forget to do is check if the work you wish to do requires a permit. Fines for not having a permit for work done can range between $100 to $25,000, so take the time to check first. A simple phone call is all it will take to stay out of trouble. If you're looking to buy medical organizers for your changing career. When it comes to medical or healthcare industry, organization is an important aspect of the professional's life. Staying organized is not only professional, staying organized helps maintain your security and the security of your patients. The great news is that when you want to buy medical organizers, there are a multitude of options available to you that will suit your lifestyle and your preferences. One of the leading manufacturers of high-quality organizers is none other than Prestige Medical Equipment. Prestige has a reputation for offering only the best in medical equipment to the medical or healthcare professional. Not only does Prestige Medical Equipment offer professionalism and reliability, Prestige Medical Equipment also offers an affordability not to be matched. Of course, you may also choose to use Prestige organizers as anytime organizers. These organizers are so exceptionally well made that you can turn these professional organizers into the anytime organizers usable around your home or your vehicle. These anytime organizers tend to be more durable and reliable than other organizers. So yes, when it comes time to buy organizers for any purpose, a person that knows and wants the best chooses the reliability offered by Prestige. When you are ready to choose which Prestige organizers you want to purchase, you'll find a large variety of choices. You'll have Prestige Nursing Assistant clipboards, Prestige Portable Desktop clipboards, Prestige Nylon organizers with small apron, Prestige Nylon head caddies, Prestige Belt Loop Nylon organizers, Prestige Nylon organizers sets, Prestige Compact Equipment cases, Prestige Nurses Cargo Bag, Prestige Padded Medical Bags, and many other popular Prestige organizers perfect for your busy life, whether at the workplace or at the home. What makes Prestige organizers so special? When it comes time to buy organizers, you'll find a world of choices available to you. Not all of these choices offer the reliability and high quality that Prestige does. You take your chances when purchasing a similar product at cheaper rates. However, Prestige organizers are extremely affordable with prices starting at below $5. For such a high quality product, you'll not find a better deal anywhere. As a medical professional, you depend on staying organized. You're secure and offering security when your notes and your possessions are kept safe and away from roaming eyes. Prestige organizers, or those anytime organizers, fulfill that role and are quite attractive. In fact, there are some Prestige organizers that are decorated with favorite cartoon characters such as Betty Boop and other popular designs. That means when you want to buy organizers, Prestige organizers offer not only affordability and privacy but also add a touch of class and fashion. No matter what type of Prestige organizers you purchase, you will find that you are pleasantly surprised by all that Prestige offers you with each purchase. When you demand the best not only in your workplace but in your everyday life, you'll learn to appreciate the excellence offered by Prestige Medical Equipment. Are you still a Swiss Army knife? Do you still remember your scouting days? Do you remember how it made you morally upright and strong in body and spirit? Do you still bring with you the same principles that managed to invigorate your youth? Or are you yet another aging specimen with dying values and dignity? Are you another idle entity of society that is more like a parasitic insect than a brilliant higher being? Or are you the type who manages to make vital contributions to society despite of advancing age? Lessons learned. Do you still remember the many lessons you learned from scouting? You learned what it takes to live by ethical standards. You learned how it's to work as part of a greater whole, to be part of a community. You learned to become a leader. You learned to serve society and the many entities it comprises, with your family and yourself included. Interestingly, you never had to leave your youth behind, for you were taught to have fun and to search for adventures while preserving the values of responsibility. Trained to become a Swiss Army knife. In other words, you were trained to become a Swiss Army knife. Remember that handy multi-tool you carried around during your physically demanding scouting days. Do you remember how you could not do without it? Do you remember its usefulness? Its multifaceted functions? Little did you know you were becoming that Swiss Army knife yourself. You were becoming a useful citizen of your nation. But are you still that same Swiss Army knife? Your youthful vibrancy, your positive and spirited hopes of the future don't have to die with age. The body may grow old, even die, but the spirit never ages. So long as you continue to feed that spirit, you'll never falter. How do you feed your spirit? So how do you feed your spirit? It all starts with a goal. Without it, you'll have difficulty propelling yourself to move to dream. Without a preset goal, you'll not have the energy to fuel your muscles, the drive. Think back and reflect on yourself. Are you still the same person? Or have you changed? If you're still the same person, then you wasted years that you should have used to further improve upon yourself. If you've changed, did you change for the better or for worse? If it's the former, then your country is proud of you. If it's the latter, then you better start sorting out your priorities. Change. Don't be daunted by the idea of change. You can make positive changes slowly but surely, so you won't have to be daunted by drastic moves. Changes, though small and seemingly insignificant, can come a long way and leave a legacy. Case in point, did you know that the name Swiss Army knife was coined by American soldiers after the World War II? And did you know why? Because of the simple reason that they found it difficult to pronounce its original name. A physiosmessa, simple yet helpful in its small way, a change that has come a long way. Swiss Army knife has now grown to become a household name. You can still go back to those grand old days when you were a Swiss Army knife. Why buying consumer goods at the best prices? Consumer products and related commodities are some of the most common items that can easily be found on the web today. The new way of consummating deals without having to worry about where to get some items that are deemed necessary by most people. The evolution of the internet has made the life of most consumers a lot more convenient, especially when the need to compare such products with their competitors or related products is needed prior to final selection. The usual suspects such as price, quality, and brand or manufacturer are still the standoffs that play an integral role prior to the final selection process. The entire procedure for making a worthy online process selection is through comparison, something that most consumers rarely get the chance to do in actual life, since they would have to identify and single out the items for comparison. The web, aside from being able to look at the actual manufacturer's site for more information and background of a product, allows the flexibility towards its target consumers. There are of course some strategies and tips that can help online buyers find the best possible deals over the web. 1. Bargain or sales discounts. Music to the ears of most people, getting discounts and bargain offers for some commodities will always be a good attraction that will draw a lot of purchases. Saving a penny or two will not only be beneficial to the would-be buyer, but is something that can be likened to actual periodic sales in actual everyday stalls. 2. Product comparison. It's always the best practice to compare a product with other manufacturers of the same line. While preference for a brand may pose to be a problem, any saving that a consumer can get to a similar product will be the best alternative towards saving a good buck. 3. Method of delivery. Online purchases will always ask the question of the method of delivery of the good towards the consumer. Delivery and freight charges would usually make the difference between purchasing online and just going to a shop near a consumer's place that may cost less. 4. Method of payment. Sites that accept credit cards or through other modes of payment such as PayPal will always be more convenient for online buyers. The mode of settlement for a product is always an issue that becomes a limitation to most online buyers, and the more choices to settle a particular purchase becomes more beneficial to both ends. 5. Warranty of the commodity or product. Not being able to see nor touch the product will initially cast doubts. The only time these doubts would be erased is once they have been received and inspected properly. Clauses wherein defective products may be returned or replaced in some case scenarios will all the more be convenient for the purchaser as far as security of getting their money's worth is concerned. Credit cards have extended the options for most of us to purchase and secure needs that will be essential to our everyday needs. While we see the various harmful goods that are placed in most supermarkets today, we still endorse them since we become more daring in making purchases because of that extended line of credit given by our trusty credit cards such as MasterCard. We can make a difference by becoming more aware of what we are buying. Our credit cards will not tell us what and what not to purchase. The decision on what to buy and why to buy still remains in our hands. Can't we discuss stereotypes? Stereotypes. As soon as this word is uttered or seen in print or the idea is implied, almost 100% of the politically correct crowd's hackles go up and they are ready for a fight. This word is not just overused but also massively misunderstood. Anything that smacks of stereotypes or even an allegation of a stereotype is met with harsh criticism and, in some circles, vicious name-calling. Stereotypes are ideas held about members of particular groups based solely on membership in that group. They're often used in a negative or prejudicial sense and are frequently used to justify certain discriminatory behaviors. More benignly, they may express sometimes accurate folk wisdom about social reality. http://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/stereotype. I may be wrong, but this simplified definition seems to indicate that stereotyping might not be an entirely negative thing. It's when it's used prejudicially to judge the whole based on a few that you begin to get into trouble. When one bases acts of discrimination upon a belief that might or might not be true, then one ventures into the mucky waters of bigotry. I've a friend who is in his late 60s and is not particularly educated. He lives in Texas and holds some of the most bizarre ideas about Mexicans. Yet I've seen him go out of his way to aid and assist Mexicans in his Texas town. I've also witnessed him going to a small town in Mexico and working with a mission group to build schools for Mexican children in villages that could not afford to do so. He holds these strange and sometimes disgusting stereotypes, but he will not allow them to push him into acts of discrimination against Mexicans. This friend, in my view, has the greatest chance of having his views about Mexicans changed because of his altruistic involvement with this group. Therefore, it's not the discussion, the believing, or the appropriate verbalizations of a specifically held stereotype that's wrong. I mean, just how will someone deal with a negative stereotype of a group of people like Mexicans, for example, if there's not an appropriate forum in which to discuss the issues? It's wrong when you engage and justify acts of bigotry toward a group or an individual because of a falsely held belief about that group, is it not? Then there are the benignly held stereotypes that may actually express something accurate about a group of people. As the definition I quoted says, more benignly, they may express sometimes accurate folk wisdom about social reality. Something I've discovered, and which may be considered a stereotype of sorts, is that in both the American gringo population in the Mexican town in which I live, Guanajuato, and the Mexican population I encounter online, both resent most vehemently any sort of discussion of anything that remotely resembles stereotyping either group. The American gringos who, and here goes a stereotype, hole up in residential enclaves, who have only bilingual Mexican friends because of their lack of linguistic skills and who really cannot interact with the local Mexican community, resent any discussion of anything that might be negative about the Mexican town in which they are living. An example is the series of articles in my column with the American Chronicle in which I point out issues like getting shoved off of sidewalks, getting shoved out of the way at meat counters, being told we should walk on the outside of sidewalks because we are gringos. These are all events that have happened to us as well as to others we know. These gringos take offense when we mention these events. Nonsensically, these are gringos who drive everywhere, walk nowhere, shop at the large American-style supermarkets where they reach into a refrigerated bin to get their wrapped meats. Just how would they know about the events I write about? They do not interact with the local Mexicans in the local community, so just how do they know whether I am reporting accurately or not? The truth is that in Guanajuato, there are things within the culture that could be expressed as ongoing daily behaviors that characterize a social reality about the citizens of Guanajuato as a whole. If one has an intermediate to high fluency in Spanish, all one has to do is ask a Guanajuato Mexican, why do women shove you out of the way at the Carceneria meat market and shout their orders over yours when the butcher was obviously waiting on you first? Here is the point of all those columns I've been writing. Number 1, and I mean not a soul who writes expatriation guides about Mexico mentions anything remotely close to these cultural affectations. And I want to know just why not. There are issues that will throw the American gringo into a culture shock tailspin faster than anything I can imagine. Is this negative stereotyping? Or is the reporting of issues within the culture that could be said to characterize the culture as a whole, a social reality? Most of the issues about which I've written have been Guanajuato-specific stereotypes. Rather than report my assumptions of what I've witnessed, rather than make an interpretation through my gringo filters, I've asked Mexicans about these things which have thrown me for a loop before I wrote about them. The issues which I've reported in my writing, those things to which the gringos in my town have taken umbrage, I didn't write until I got confirmation from other Mexicans living in Guanajuato. Here's the thing about getting shoved off the sidewalk. They do this to one another. I've talked with Mexicans who have been shoved off the sidewalks too. We've caught and prevented old Mexican ladies from falling who have been shoved off the sidewalks and had been at risk of receiving horrid injuries. We've talked to Guanajuatenses and Mexicans from other regions of the country who now live here about this issue. There are those who have an explanation for this horrible behavior, and there are those Mexican who dismiss the citizens of Guanajuato as antisocial. There was a time, I believe, when political correctness did not possess the minds of Americans like a demon needing exorcising. There was a time when a writer could write without the fear of having to make disclaimers concerning his subject matter. An example of this is when Princess Diana died. Most every television news commentator which I watched said something along the line, all of London has shown up on the streets of the funeral procession to bid farewell to the princess. Now let me ask you, did these television commentators mean literally that every person without exception was on the London streets to say goodbye to Princess Diana? What about the old and infirm, the babies just born, the mentally ill or retarded? What about those? Did the commentators mean they were there too? Or was the use of a hyperbolic device employed in the commentary to convey an idea? The statement, if one examined it critically and with a modicum of logic, meant that a great deal of people, maybe even the majority of the good people of London, lined the streets in a show of respect toward their beloved Princess Diana. There was a time when this would have been understood. But it would seem Americans have lost the ability to think. Is that a stereotype? Maybe. But if the fan mail I receive is any indication of how the American gringo population in Mexico thinks in my town of Guanajuato and the town of San Miguel de Allende, then there is something seriously wrong. If in my rhetoric I said I think every Mexican without exception in Guanajuato is such and such, then I would be guilty of false stereotyping. I've not done that. Those readers who write with their vitriolic and childish schoolyard name-calling ways should have been able to figure out that I don't mean everyone without exception is. They should be able to discern without the use of disclaimers that I mean a great deal of the Guanajuatenses I see doing. They should be able to figure that out. Comparing titanium and tungsten wedding rings. Both titanium and tungsten are considered model metals in the jewelry industry because they were not available to the consumer market as commodities until 10 years ago. They've gained tremendous popularity since the introduction and become an integral part of the jewelry material spectrum due to the rather little exposure. Many questions arise concerning titanium and tungsten when it comes to choosing jewelry. The following are some points of consideration if you are seriously thinking about buying a titanium or tungsten wedding ring. 1. Hardness. Titanium and tungsten are both known for the superior hardness over traditional metals such as gold, silver, and platinum. One thing worth noting is that it's not the metals themselves in a pure form that possess the hardness, it's their alloys that do. Roughly speaking, the hardest form of tungsten carbide is harder than titanium alloys, and only under extreme circumstances such as abrasion from diamonds can it be damaged. 2. Ductility. Titanium is more ductile than tungsten in the common alloys used in jewelry. In other words, when a wedding ring is under high pressure such as hit by a car door, a titanium ring would be bent out of round, whereas a tungsten carbide ring would fracture into several pieces. Hence, in terms of safety, a tungsten carbide ring is safer to wear. 3. Hypoallergenic. This is the very same concern as buying silver jewelry. To some people, will I be allergic to the jewelry? In general, titanium jewelry is virtually safe to wear for everybody. Yet some tungsten carbide jewelry contains the element cobalt that some people are allergic to. Interesting, another form of tungsten alloy using nickel as a binder metal is hypoallergenic, even to people who are allergic to nickel. 4. Weight. Titanium is lighter than tungsten, or more precisely has a lower density. Titanium alloys are about 43% lighter than stainless steel, and tungsten carbide is about 90% heavier than stainless steel. 5. Coloring. Titanium reacts with different chemicals and produces alloys of different colors. Jewelry makers use anodization to coat colored patterns on titanium rings. Black titanium is another form of titanium alloy that has a different color than the commonly used gray color. On the other hand, tungsten carbide is usually offered on in black color only. 6. Pricing. Titanium jewelry is in general cheaper than tungsten jewelry, primarily due to the difference in equipment and environment control need to produce them. Wise 18. The temperature for forming a tungsten carbide is about 6,000 Fahrenheit, which has to be in either a vacuum or hydrogen environment. 7. Engraving and resizing. Titanium wedding rings can be engraved and resized. However, a tungsten carbide ring is too hard to be engraved or resized. Although engraving can be done, the letters will be very faint and difficult to read. So if you're buying to ring to engrave, get titanium rings. Don't leave before you press like button below and subscribe to this channel. As a subscriber you will receive a new notifications every time a new video is uploaded.